Good afternoon, I'm Alex Tremaine and I'm an old man that builds Gundam. Welcome to the bank holiday stream. I am fortunate enough that I am on leave all of this week, so I will be streaming off and on all week. I regularly stream Tuesday evenings and Thursday evenings at the moment, subject to change. And during that stream, I'm currently building a master grade full armor unicorn, and that build will continue during those Tuesday and Thursday streams. But I have off stream been starting this master grade ReZEL, which I've been quite enjoying, and I fancied building some more of it today, and I thought, fuck it, why not stream as well? So, apologies for being a couple of minutes later than I intended to be, but I was all on time and ready to kick off, and then I managed to spill water everywhere. Thankfully not onto anything important or that won't just dry out, you know. Including the aforementioned full armor unicorn, which is sitting on a paper towel over here. Yes, so things got postponed very slightly as I sorted out my own disaster, because, you know, why be competent when you can be the other thing? Anyway, welcome to Bank Holiday Monday. I hope you all had a fantastic bank holiday weekend, a nice long weekend to do hopefully fuck all with. I have done mostly fuck all, but I did achieve some productive things yesterday. Went out to the garage, tidied it up a bit. I currently ache having pushed the project car backwards and forwards to move it from one side of the garage to the other. That was a bit of an experience, but victory was achieved, and now I'm able to fit my daily driver in the garage as well, which was the objective. So victory is always nice, but it does come at the moment with aching muscles. So. And in the meantime, I thought, oh, screw it, let's stream a thing. So, I earlier in the weekend, I finished the head and torso of this one. I've been quite pleased with this build so far. It is the moulding appears to be of higher quality than it is on the master grade unicorns. The unicorn and the banshee, which I've done previously at master grade. This kit just seems to be a little bit better. Better tolerances on the parts, I think, is the best way to describe it. So, just going to dig right in. Let's get some parts moved around, because there are a lot of sprues on this at the moment that are just sort of, I only have so much space for sprues, yeah, sometimes it's easier than others. Right, so where had I got up to? I had just finished these two steps here. We're going to try, we're going to try an experiment today. I don't know whether this is an optical zoom or a digital zoom. It's difficult to tell, but we're going to try we're going to try this and see what happens. And you'll have to let me know how this, how well this appears for people. Yeah, it seems to be still coming up pretty clear, but we'll see how it goes. Right, so where were we? So we've done the two common parts, the two parts that are common on both arms, and we are onto the right arm. So I2. No, that's K. I is on my hangers up here. So I've been trying using wet and dry paper as opposed to my usual finishing paper for sanding on this. So I've been having reasonably positive results with it. So we'll aside from the whole water everywhere situation that I mentioned previously, so we'll see how this goes as the afternoon rolls on. Depending on where we get to in this and what kind of mood I'm in later on in the day, I may switch to streaming some video games. We'll see how that goes. I want to at least get these arms finished, and then we'll have a look at what time it is when that happens, as to whether I'm in the mood to stream video games or whether I'm just as the saying goes, locked in for the long haul. Where's the other? Am I just being blind? Ah, there it is. So what we have are some sliced up pieces of brass that used to be a brass ruler. This was the other thing I was doing in the garage yesterday, which I've applied wet and dry to give me a nice flat surface to work with. I've got 1500 grit and 7000 grit just to this mug is just a little on the tall side, but never mind. So I can use the 1500 grit to clean everything off, and then the 7000 just to give it a nice polish afterwards. as I say, I hope you've all had a nice weekend. Mine's been pleasantly quiet and strangely productive, which, you know, is probably not the worst combination in the world. After abusing my body pushing cars around yesterday, I then spent the evening beginning my marathon catch up on professional wrestling. Turns out I am, shall we say, significantly further behind on Stardom than I thought I was. Yeah, that's going to be there's going to be a lot of catch up there. Come on, you can focus. As you can see, this wet and dry gets a really nice clean finish on the surface, which I'm quite liking. So this way round, this sits this way and goes into here like so. Come on, there we go, like that. And then we need one of the soft rubber pieces, what are we looking for? PCX, which is these parts here. This appears to be in need of just a touch of flash removing. There we go. So this slots in like so. There we go. And then we need to put K32 and I3 in there. So K32 is this part here. I don't want this absolutely saturated when I'm So yeah, it turns out that I'm significantly... I'm a little more than a month behind, or I was yesterday. More than a month behind on Stardom. Where are we now? 4th of April. So 3rd of March. No, I am still a month and a half behind on Stardom. Which is, you know, awkward. I am, as of yesterday, I am now 2 big arena shows behind. I have yet to see the Tam versus Julia Hare versus Hare match, which I am really looking forward to. We managed to get through 2 of the smaller shows last night, which was good. And then got what was frankly a shockingly early night for a bank holiday Sunday, but probably for the best, you know. Certainly I didn't feel like doing much of anything after the so this is going in this way round. Really? Ah, I see. It's just sitting on like that. Okay. So yeah, we caught up on... Yeah, so this is going to move up and down like so. Caught up on a couple of shows, which were good. Some entertaining matches. And we need I3. Edging closer to started Inagi's 7-match trial series and edging closer to Julia finally going full heel and trying to rip Starlight Kid's mask off. Also coming closer to yet another sudden but inevitable betrayal for poor Mayu as she loses yet another faction member to Oedo Tai. She really needs to you know, look at what the cause of these problems are. If people keep stabbing you in the back and leaving you for a different faction, maybe you should consider that it might not be them, it might be you. But, you know, this is Mayu, she's not really... She's not demonstrated much propensity for that kind of introspection. We had the sudden unexpected departure from stardom of Bea Priestley yesterday, which is a real shame because she's very good. The assumptions are that she's going to WWE for presumably NXT UK. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to be assuming. I think it's a shame. I am, as with everybody who goes to WWE, I am pleased that they're going to get a paycheck. I'm pleased that they have job security and that they're in a place where, you know, they're in one of the biggest companies on the planet. You know, that there's definitely strong things to be said for that, but I'm always disappointed that I'm never going to see them wrestle again, at least as long as they stay with the company, because WWE is just an awful thing. As a company, they are, I mean, no company is ethically flawless, but WWE is, I find, particularly morally reprehensible with the dealings it has with Saudi Arabia, the way it treats its workers, just, yeah, just nothing I can really tolerate anymore. Right, so there is so much wrestling in the world, and so much of it is A, better than WWE, and B, doesn't make me feel guilty by association with them. And we've got a little movable part here that watching any WWE is just, you know, just beyond what I can accept these days. So we then take amending this way round, and then we're taking this and putting it on the back here. So does this then? No, that doesn't move up and down. So something else is going to move up and down inside here by the look of it. And then we need to put D7 on the other side. So D is these screws here. D7. So yeah, I have little enough time to watch wrestling anyway without watching bad wrestling that makes me feel guilt. And it's a real shame because there's a lot of wrestlers who I like, particularly in NXT UK. Big fans of Viper and Kaylee Ray and Millie McKenzie, who's just gone there, and obviously Bee's going there, and Bobby Tyler I think has just joined, and yeah, there's a lot of excellent wrestlers who've gone there, and yeah, it's a shame, but as I say, I'm always pleased that they're getting paid. And I do not blame them for taking the money when it's offered to them, you know. Everybody's got to look out for themselves, because a lot of the time there's not going to be anyone else to look out for you. Sometimes the only solution is to suck it up and take the money. And I certainly hope they're getting good money. It's not like WWE can't afford to pay them what they're worth. Go. Some nice clean surfaces there. So this then clips on like so. That looks pretty clean. We have an openable hatch here, and there's a sliding part in there that will presumably come down. I'm a little confused as to why this is not this has been separated off, because I can only assume this must be absolutely identical for the left arm as well, but never mind. Or at least very similar. So F3 and 4 and D1. So we'll start with D1, which is up here. I definitely need to get a slightly shorter cup to store these in, so I'm not always fishing them out. But that's easy enough to do in the future. Plus the fact that this is a plastic cup, and therefore I could potentially just cut the top off it. So other than begin the never-ending wrestling catch-up, and there we go, and start on this kit, and I guess work in the garage. I haven't done an awful lot over the weekend. Sprue F is this one. When I put it all together like that, it sounds like more than it was. So this is F3 and 4, which are, we have two sets of 3 and 4. Today has been pleasant. I got up late, I had hot cross buns for lunch, I'm gonna have takeout for tea, and then it's a session of the bi-weekly game I have, tabletop role-playing game I have with some friends from university. So that will be a nice catch-up this evening. Weird, I actually get to see them more. This game was running before lockdown, but because we always were all in, well, I'm in the Midlands, the others are all in various parts of London or Essex, so for every one of us it was about a 2-hour journey to sort of 1.5 to 2 hours for us all to meet to in order to play the game, which meant it didn't happen very often because, you know, we're all now in our 40s, and it meant we had to make a full day of it in order for it to be worth doing, which was always great when it happened, but it did also mean that it didn't happen super often. Whereas now we've ended up doing this every other week online, and it's been great. It's been lovely to see everybody on a regular basis. Now, don't get me wrong, we're going to go back to once it is actually safe, which, you know, it's not yet, but once it is actually safe, we are going to go back to doing it in person when we can, but I don't think we'll be stopping the online sessions. So this goes So it's weird the number of things that have initially felt like coping strategies for the lockdown that have turned out to just be good. Not least of which, of course, is working from home, which isn't for everybody. There's quite a few people I've spoken to at work who are very much looking forward to getting back into the office. I don't understand it, but they're looking forward to it. Whereas I've just found working from home to be infinitely better than being in the office. I get more sleep. I'm not wasting 1 to 2 hours a day on commuting. I'm not spending anywhere near as much on petrol, which is both good for my wallet and good for the environment and for my stress levels, because it means that I'm driving. I love driving, don't get me wrong, but there's a difference between driving and commuting. And it means that when I'm driving for, you know, good reasons. It means that in the middle of the day I can just go and, you know, hug one of the cats if I feel the need, which is always good. Mr. Nub here. Blaze Kushranada, thanks for the raid, that's very nice of you. Welcome to the channel. I'm Alex Tremaine, I'm an old man, I build Gundams. That's basically what you get here. This is a bit of an extra stream for the bank holiday, because I thought, well, I'm building a Gundam, might as well stream it. So yeah, I stream Tuesday and Thursday evenings on a normal week. My current main build is a master grade unicorn, full armor unicorn, which is currently about this far along in the process. That gets built on Tuesdays and Thursdays. There is a previous build streams are up on my YouTube channel. There is a link in the Twitch channel for my YouTube channel. There is also a previous build there of the real grade new Gundam, including the HWS expansion kit, which I would recommend to anybody. The new Gundam the real grade new is fantastic as a build, and the HWS expansion kit looks pretty good as well. It leaves you with a pretty impressive result. So I'm very much looking forward to panel lining that and just making it really pop. And today, this is the kit that I'm currently been using as my off-stream build for when I want to build but I don't want to stream. So not all of this is available, but we've this is what I got up to yesterday evening, and moving on to the arms today. I've been quite pleased with this kit so far. It's the mouldings have been pretty good. I would say it's the tolerances are better than the master grade unicorn, and it's just coming together quite nicely at the moment. So yeah, that's me. Welcome to the channel. I tend to just ramble a lot while I'm building. If that's of interest to you, then if you wouldn't mind giving me a follow, then I'd be grateful for that. But don't feel you have to. This is mostly just for me to be able to ramble into the void while I build Gunpla. Right, on to the next step, which is C10, C12 and K28. Blaze Cushionada, what do you actually stream? What have you been up to? C10, K28 and C12. K28 is here. So that's K28, C10 and C12. What have I done with Spruce C? This is Spruce C. Gundam Battle Operation 2, is that good? I've not looked at that myself. I am aware of it, but I've not looked into it. The build is going pretty good. I've been very pleased with this so far. This is what I got up to off stream yesterday, and today I was in the mood to build more. So here I am. 12 and 10. 12 and 10. Yeah, this is really nice. I'm liking the sort of colour scheme so far. I think it's coming together quite nicely. It's also I would say it's just the tolerances on the moulding is much better than the master grade unicorn, which is what I'm building on my main streams. K28. So it's been a nice change. I love the unicorn. I think it's a really good. I just aesthetically, it's really my jam. But I've got to be honest, the master grade unicorns and unicorn based kits, the mouldings aren't the best. The result's still pretty good, but I've had to do a bit of knife work on them in places to get some of the moving parts to sit right, to sit fully closed on both the unicorn and the banshee. Yeah, my first kit was this, which is the real grade full armor unicorn, which I really enjoyed. Learned a lot while doing it. The high grade also looks really good for a high grade kit, which is why I was a little disappointed that the master grade seemed to be a little lower quality control wise, but I am looking forward to. I have the perfect grade Banshee Norn and a lighting kit that I'm going to be moving on to once I've got this ReZEL built. I'm really looking forward to putting that together. I think the best thing about the full armour unicorn is that the inner frame is green instead of red, and I think that's I think that just looks better in my opinion. I've been looking at the there's a Gundam Base Special Edition real grade Perfectibility, which has a blue inner frame and has the sort of rear shields and the tails from the Phoenix, and I've been sorely tempted by that, but you can only get those on eBay in this country. Well, this is the master grade Banshee. Just let me finish this off and I'll bring it down. As I say, that it's a good kit, the master grades. It's not as precise and well worked as the real grades, but the result was still pretty satisfying. Hang on a moment, let me so this is the Banshee as opposed to the Banshee Norn. The shield isn't actually used in the instructions, but I put it together anyway because it came on the sprues, and why the hell not? The interesting thing I discovered is that all of the unicorns, the inner frames are UV active, which is really nice. So I'm going to be getting some black lights for my Gundam shelves when the time comes. But yeah, I was really pleased with this. I thought this came out well. It needs, I don't know how well the panel lining is going to look on this dark blue, because it really is a very dark blue, but there is going to be some panel lining to do on this, and I still haven't put any stickers on this yet, which I really should. Yeah, I mean, they gave me, it came with the shield. I didn't see any point in not putting it together, and then with a bit of fettling I got it fitted to the backpack in a similar fashion to how how it's fit on the full armor unicorn. That was which I was quite pleased with how that came out, you know. Now this is the one I've actually done. Let's just do the last surface clean on that. Yeah, I had a look on Amazon, and you can get some blacklight LED strips that are just plug into USB ports, and they look pretty solid. They're not very expensive, so that'll be next payday. I might look at those. As I say, I've got this to go with the perfect grade version. I'm very much looking forward to putting that together. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much again for the raid. I do appreciate it. And thank you very much for the follow. I'll hopefully see you in the future. Have a good afternoon though. Hey, Shitty Popu, how you doing? Shopping for a hamster, that's always good. Been a long time since we've had a hamster. It was back when we lived in a flat that wouldn't let us have cats. But now we have cats, and cats are sort of, well, cats and hamsters. Not necessarily the best combinations. We have 3 cats and a snake, and that's more than enough trouble in the house. How's your bank holiday been so far? And have you been successful in your hamster purchasing? Right, so what are we... Those 2 are done. This still needs cleaning up. Oh my god. Definitely need to get a better size water cup for the wet and dry. Because my fingers are not long enough. If anybody here hasn't come across Shitty Popu, by the way, he is also a Gunpla builder. He streams builds on Saturdays, I want to say, and builds on Saturdays and games on Tuesdays. He's just finished a high grade Evangelion, one of the old kits from the 90s, which has been entertaining to watch, and I think he's streaming Persona 5 Strikers on Tuesdays. So yeah, check out his channel, give him a follow. He's good people. Right, that is that. And then we need G2 and G4. Which one is Sprue G? He says. This is Sprue G. And we need G2 and G4. And then we've got some miserable sticker sticking to do. So I picked this kit up because it just looked kind of cool, which is my strategy in kit choice entirely is does the picture of it look cool, which was a resounding yes for the pictures of this, but this has been quite an interesting build so far. And I'm quite pleased with how it's looking. So I want to get if we can get the arms finished this afternoon, that'll be good. And then look at what time there is left in the afternoon before deciding if I'm going to go any further or might play some video games. My lovely wife very kindly gave me a copy of Mech Mechanic Simulator, which is like the Car Mechanic Simulator games except for mechs, which is just essentially entirely my jam. So this then sits on the outside, so we've got, let's just take this off. So we have a hinged part inside here, and then this sits on the outside and also rotates. Presumably that will link in some way to how it rotates on the inside. So yeah, I've had a play with Met Mechanic Simulator. It is pleasantly satisfying in the same way that Car Mechanic Simulator is. You just take stuff apart and put it back together and then send it off into the world and get paid in-game money for it, and it's just a nice relaxing game to play, which is always good. It always sounds kind of silly when you talk about the car mechanic simulators and just general sort of what ostensibly could be considered job simulator games, but Car Mechanic Simulator, there's a Tank Mechanic Simulator now, and a Plane Mechanic Simulator, and obviously Mech Mechanic Simulator. Mars Rover Mechanic Simulator, that's one I've got and have quite enjoyed. But it's just something quite satisfying about taking a thing apart, fixing the thing that's wrong with it, and then putting all the bits back together and leaving it as a whole functioning thing at the end of it. It's yeah, I find it sort of, that and Gunpla building both sort of fill the gap that I normally fill with going out into the garage to work on cars when it's, you know, inclement outside and the garage is too cold to work in. So this then clips on here like so. That, come on, Mr. Autofocus, you can do it. There it is. So that all clips together like so, and apparently I have to stick stickers on here. I hate stickers, I really do. They look great, but they're so miserable to use. What have I done with my tweezers? Where are tweezers? Tweezers are here. I have got tweezers. So, this is telling me that we're putting sticker 5, which is these two here, and sticker 6, which is these two here. Sticker 5 looks like it's going to be fairly fairly straightforward, so we're going to start with that. Sticker 6, on the other hand, looks like it's going to be an absolute bastard. So let's do this. this seated just right. I'll be honest, I have been impressed with these sort of foily stickers that end up sort of conforming to the surface that they're stuck onto. Mini Mojo, thank you for the raid. That's very kind of you. In the unlikely event that any of you do not know who Mini Mojo is, Mini Mojo is also a crafting streamer. What have you been up to this afternoon? Thank you for the follow. You have just joined me as I have entered sticker hell. So, Mini Fairy Garden, sweet. Coming along well? Oh, boo. I am absolutely certain that you won't bring me bad luck. I am already in sticker hell. It can't get any worse than this. Apparently, this tiny flat sticker is going right in the center here and is going to have to try and conform to everything that's going on with that surface. I am less than impressed. Now, I've already put a few of these foil stickers on that sort of conform to the surface that they're going on to, and the ones I've put on so far have been pretty good. But this is a lot more. This surface is a lot more interesting than the others. One of the reasons that I enjoy building Gunpla is that there is no glue. Gone are the days where I want to. Gone are the days where I have the tolerance to sit around getting high on polystyrene cement, sticking plastic together. That is definitely not my jam anymore. That is an experience for younger people who do not get headaches from solvent smells. Oh, Yes, also getting things stuck to you, I do not miss. This is a miserable sticker. I am just not sold that this is happening, you know. I do not know precisely how they intend us to. This is intended to. Should I just be forcing this in like tinfoil? Just make it do the thing? I'm uncertain what victory looks like here. So I think victory may actually look like me removing this, because I don't think there's a way to get this in and make it look good. I think it can be, I think this might be one or the other. I think this might be able to get in or look good. Yeah. Nothing about this is working. No. That sticker is just ruined. Okay. We're going to accept that that is not viable. I'm now going to attempt to clean off all of this sticky residue. Let's get a slightly more solid piece of tissue to But yes, anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Mini Mojo, thank you for the raid, it's very kind. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to everybody who has joined us from Mini Mojo's stream. I'm Alex Tremaine, I build Gunpla. I stream Tuesdays and Thursdays under normal circumstances, Tuesday evenings and Thursday evenings UK time. Currently my build for my main stream is this Master Grade Unicorn, which is the full armor kit. But it is bank holiday. I have the week off. I'm going to be doing some extra streams this week. Today I fancied building some more of this ReZEL, because I was building it last night and it was fun. I got this far yesterday afternoon, which has been quite nice, and today I'm building the arms, and we'll see how far we get. Once the arms are built, I may be moving on to some kind of gaming for the first time, but it'll depend on what time it is when the arms are finished, basically. So yes, welcome to the stream. If you want to give me a follow, I would be eternally grateful, but please don't feel you have to. I'm going to be going for another little while yet. I'm busy this evening, but essentially I was going to be building this all afternoon anyway, so I thought, fuck it, let's stream at the same time. The unicorn is being built on the Tuesday and Thursday evening streams. That will be continuing this week as well. And in the meantime, there's going to be some... I don't have to be in work all week this week, so I'm just going to stream when I feel like it. And I would be more than happy for some company. So let's finish getting the adhesive off here. I think that's probably got the worst of it off. That's the first thing about this kit that I have not liked. I like the idea, but the execution was not there for me. If any of you here are not familiar with Mini Mojo, they, as mentioned, they are also a crafting streamer. Please give them a follow. They are great fun and an excellent human. So, moving onwards, we are going to clip a whole bunch of stuff over the top of this. So, C14 and 16, let's start with that. This is sprue C here. So C14. And C16. What game? I am toying either in keeping with the theme and am playing some Mech Mechanic Simulator, which my wonderful wife got me earlier in the week. Last week. It is Monday. I'm not sure what day it is a lot. That happens when it's holiday time. Or I might play some Magic. Depends what mood I'm in when I get to the end of building the arms, and how much time we have as well. Right. So that was C14 and 16. We need A20. A is one of the clever multicolour sprues, and we need a 20. Is this one. And what else do we need? A20 and B3. B is the translucent yellow. So B3 is here. So let's start with this. I realised yesterday when my dad was my age, why I was the one who always ended up pushing cars around in the garage instead of him. And that is because when you are the age I am now, which is, you know, older than is really which is old enough, shall we say. Let's go with old enough. Pushing cars around a garage leaves you feeling like shit the day after. Yes, 21, absolutely. Yes. 21. I remember 21. Yep. Yep. I God. Every now and again I think what it must be like to actually be that, you know, no joke, to actually be 21 now, having been born in, what, 21, born at the beginning of the 90s. I mean, just having missed the 90s is, you know, a weird concept to me. But just having been born in an age where, certainly from any time that you can remember, the internet will have been a thing. You know, I remember the internet not being a thing for many years of my life, or at least not being. I mean, obviously it was a thing, you know, back when it was still ARPANET, but from a practical perspective, the internet was just not a thing. Yeah, and end of the 90s, but, you know, realistically, if you were born in 1990, you're not really going to remember much from pre. Yeah, magazines with cheap booklets for games, yes. Yeah. Just magazines that came with floppy disks on the front of them. With shareware versions of games and other software. Yeah, I mean, I remember my parents getting dial-up in, I want to say 1996, something like that. And that was sort of that was fairly early on in that process, you know. My dad was and is a bit of a computer geek, so he well, as I say, the first computer I remember us having in the house was one of the rubber-keyed ZX Spectrums. That's the first one I remember. I used to play games on that, and then we upgraded to a Spectrum 48K Plus, which I also used to play games on. But my dad informs me that he did have a ZX81 a few years before that. Which is which had a whole 1K of memory. So this goes in here. Interesting. Aha, I see. Right. So what's supposed to happen here is this is supposed to sit on here. And as you can see in the top one, you've got the reflective sticker is behind the window, but we don't have that in the bottom half because the sticker is horrible and miserable and the worst. So that's just going to have to be the way it is, sadly. Yeah, I mean, for me, the internet didn't exist until, you know, I was in my late teens before the internet was a thing that was accessible to normal people, you know. And the idea of just growing up with it, I mean, that's kind of cool, you know. What is it like to grow up with the internet? I mean, it's a lot more there's a lot more sort of self-protection you've got to learn that I never had to worry about until I was, you know, old enough to make sense of it. Am I glad I had a childhood without it? I don't know. I think growing up with it would be an interesting experience. Does it, if you've had it the whole time, does it prepare you for the hazards and positives of it better? I mean, I know there are downsides to it, but is it? Does being immersed in it from the beginning just make it easier to deal with? I don't know. I think it's such a different place, the world now, and online. I mean, the internet is, you know, we're talking about in the 90s when I was, yeah, I mean, parents are obviously different for everybody, but, you know, when I first got on the internet, I was using Usenet on a regular basis, which is apparently still there in some form or another. I haven't gone looking for it in a long time, but Usenet still exists apparently. Yeah, it's a weird thought. Yeah, a lot of stories about kids just constantly on computers. Yeah. But you know what? So was I was just on worse computers. Sam K, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. You know, yeah, I wasn't on the internet, but I was on... It may shock you to learn this, but I was, you know, a somewhat geeky child. So I spent a lot of... I know that's a surprising thing to learn, but I spent a lot of time either playing computer games on Spectrums or BBCs or PCs later on. I mean, certainly for most of my childhood, it was a BBC that I played most of my games on. mean, sure, I went out and did stuff as well, certainly more than I do now. But you know, computer gaming has been one of my primary pastimes, even when I was young. So I don't know. There's a lot of positives to online communities, you know, and I can absolutely see the positives and pitfalls for sort of kids of an impressionable age. Or, you know, adults of an impressionable age. Yeah, absolutely. What I never want to become is one of these people who looks back and is like, oh, kids were better in my day, you know. Things change. Not all of them are positive. Shidipopu, thank you for the host. If any of you here aren't familiar with Shidipopu, he is another Gunpla builder and game streamer. He is also good people. Give him a follow. Go check out his streams. Yeah, kids will also be little monsters. Yeah, absolutely. AOL Internet Trial Discs. I mean, I never ran out of coasters in the 90s. CompuServe as well. Always reliable to... always could be relied on to provide you with... Yeah, you miss AOL. I never really had anything to do with AOL or CompuServe. I sort of had this situation where my parents got dial-up, which was, I want to say it was Demon Internet at the time. Was the dial-up service they got. There we go. We have most of an arm. We now need to build a hand. Yeah, Demon Internet, I think, was the company they had, and then not long after that, I went to university, and I had university internet, and you know, that was a whole different kettle of fish. Yeah. Speeds that would be terrible by today's broadband standards. No, I mean, if you look back at the early internet, and yeah, it was pretty crap compared to what we have now. Yeah, I mean, when I first started, as I say, we had dial-up at home. That was like a 56k modem. I think we started out at a 14.4k modem. And sort of modem speeds rapidly increased. Oh no, we need F1. Sprue F1. Yeah, modem speeds rapidly increased over that sort of late 90s period. By the time I was not living on campus anymore, I was running a 56k modem on dial-up still, and it was only, you know, when did we first get broadband? It was 2001 maybe, 2001 we first got broadband, and that was with British Telecom, and it was we were looking at, I want to say, 0.5 megabit. Was the speed. Yeah. And that was lightning fast at the time, you know, that was like nothing I'd ever experienced except when I was actually on a university campus. So yeah, the internet sort of came into my life at the end of my teens and has been in it ever since. Yeah, absolutely. Choosing between having a phone call or having the internet. And you know, I lived in a shared house when I had dial-up, and we would negotiate for who had the internet at any given moment, until that first time we had broadband in like 2001, where we had to build. Because in those days it was just a broadband modem you got, it didn't come with a router, so I had to build a separate PC out of old spare parts that was wow, cut out every time the phone was picked up or put down. Oof. That sounds miserable. But yeah, the first broadband we had, I had to build a whole separate PC to be a combined firewall and router, because the broadband only came with a modem. It didn't come with a router at the time. And this was in the days of Napster and Kazaa and just general that first round of peer-to-peer stuff before Napster got absolutely booted by got the shit kicked out of them by Metallica. Yes, LimeWire, I remember that one. I also, you know what, it's the older I get, more time compresses together, and sometimes it's really weird to think that the 90s was 20 years ago. Thank you for the follow, MOAR and Getsu. The 90s was just like, the 90s was over 20 years ago now, and that is really weird to me some days. Some days it really does feel like it was over 20 years ago, but others not so much. Some days, as Mini Mojo said, feels like I'm still 21. Other days very much feels like I'm what my actual age is. Today, having pushed a car around a garage yesterday, is one of those days where I very much feel like what my actual age is. Does that come up? Yeah, it's alright. So this then lives on... Oh, I see. I missed that. I don't know who followed there, but thank you, whoever it was. I was looking away when it happened. Wave in chat if that was you. There we go. Primal DMB, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, the orange and white is really nice. It's it's coming up nicely. There's this nice effect of putting silver reflective stickers underneath translucent yellow plastic, which works really well as well, except for the places where the sticker just would not stay on. So what are we doing here? We need to build a hand. I 6, 7, 9 and 10. I6. 7. 9 and 10. There we go. Yeah, MOAR, you are exactly right. Just that realization that you are no longer one of the youth. It's kind of horrifying. And it's a significant time in my past now, which is even more horrifying when I first had that realization. That you are no longer one of the fellow kids. To quote a meme. Getting old is weird. I don't feel out of touch. I try not to be out of touch. I almost certainly am out of touch though. I mean, it's not like I was ever massively in touch with the zeitgeist even when I was young. Yeah, I'm not one of the old people at work, but I'm certainly not one of the young people at work anymore. Not by a long shot. There are a lot of people in the office who are, for whatever value of office we're talking about, there's a lot of people in the office who are sort of in their 20s and 30s. Social media. Yeah, I mean, the social media I liked is either gone or not safe to use anymore. In that I fucking hate Facebook. Twitter's full of scumbags, but Twitter's kind of usable. Facebook though, God, I hate Facebook. have to use Facebook because everybody uses Facebook, but if I could give up Facebook, I absolutely would. When I first started using social media, yeah, I mean that's essentially, I use Facebook to keep up with people, and occasionally to organise events and things, and that's it. I don't post very much to Facebook because that gives Facebook information about me, which I don't want it to have. And that's basically my usage. And again, this will date me, but I used to use LiveJournal a lot, and I was never a prolific poster on LiveJournal, but I did actually post on LiveJournal, unlike my usage of Facebook, which is as minimal as I can possibly manage it. Again, Twitter I mostly use to just sort of follow people, and I guess these days to post go live notices. It's quite good for that. Discord has been quite good. I actually quite like Discord as a system. It's been valuable during lockdown. I think it's a better tool for communities than Facebook is by, a long shot. It feels closer to what LiveJournal was in the early 2000s, but with obviously better facilities and better technology associated with it. So yeah, Discord's been a godsend. We use Discord use it for everything now, Most often I'm using it for tabletop role playing, but also just sort of topic related communities. There are Discords for Gunpla building. I'm on Discords for professional wrestling. I'm on Discords for games and just people related Discords. It's very much how I used LiveJournal in the day. Tumblr was okay for a while. It's gone downhill a bit. Tumblr was another one that sort of felt very LiveJournal-ish when I first got on it. But inevitably what happens is that these platforms that are good get bought by companies who are not. And that's always kind of saddening and frustrating. And then you've got to find a new one. Or in the case of LiveJournal, it was owned by Russians in the first place. And it's a little... I certainly wouldn't post anything on LiveJournal that I didn't want people to know these days, because it's just not as safe as it used to be. I'm given to understand. Yeah, I remember the days of not talking to people unless I had their phone number. I mean, hell, I remember the days of not talking to people unless I had their landline number, because, you know, I'm old enough that mobile phones were not a thing or at least not a thing outside of very rich people for a goodly chunk of my life. So yeah, I kind of envy people growing up today with access to this stuff from the get-go. I'm envious of the things that they're going to see, the technology that they're going to experience in the future, that's going to make what we have today seem as outdated as dial-up seems to you and I right now. You know, it's the world's an interesting place and there's a lot of stuff in it. Right, E23, which is this one. Oh, I'm already not keeping up with a lot of technology. You know, I play video games. I have a computer that I keep relatively up to date so I can play the games I want to play. I get a new console every now and again. I have yet to get a PlayStation 5 because they apparently don't exist, except in very brief spurts. At some point they will exist and I will get one, but there's no sort of killer game for the PlayStation 5 that I really need yet. For the PS4 it was for the PS4 it was Persona 5 that finally made me crack and get one. You know, my other hobbies are playing with old cars, so keeping up with technology on the car front. You know, even my daily driver is essentially a car with 90s tech in it, as opposed to anything more recent. I mean, the car's from 2009, but it's not, as 2009 cars go, it's not terribly complicated. But the project car is from the 80s, and the only sort of the highest technology that's going to live in that car is going to be the stereo, when it eventually gets one. doesn't even have fuel injection, the project car. That may change. I may actually crack and get and try and put a programmable fuel injection system in it. But that's for after I've got it working and through an MOT with a carburetor in it. In fact, it doesn't even have a stereo in it at the moment. So I think the most technologically advanced part of that project car at the moment is I've put an electronic ignition conversion inside the distributor to replace the points, because man, life's too short to just be changing the points all the time. There's only so many times you can gap the points on a car before you think, maybe I'm going to go for the better solution on this one. The solution that is less hassle. I know what you mean, Minnie. Often my best conversations are either with myself or the cats. The cats are good listeners. Not that they care, but they... Listen's probably the wrong word. The cats hear. They hear. Listen is probably an exaggeration. We have... we have an arm. It is rather nice. Yeah, bad jokes. I learned making jokes that only I find funny from my dad, and I'm guessing that this then. Oh, there we go. Then fits on here, like so. Yeah, I have several people who would argue with me over my status of as funny human. Right, well that's one arm done. That's not as far as I necessarily expected to get this afternoon. Where are we at? 5 o'clock. One down, one to go. Yeah, I'm probably not going to finish the other arm today though, because I have things to do this evening, so I'm only going to be able to run for a little bit longer. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on break very briefly, clear this detritus away, and when I come back, going to spend half an hour, 45 minutes maybe playing, just playing some Magic, because why the hell not? Play a few games of Magic just to finish off the afternoon. So, going on break, grab a drink, I will be back very shortly. That is supposed to be showing the game. Why is it not showing the game? Oh, there we go. Look at that. That's more like it. Ooh. Let's update the Terabyte Gaming. No more Gunpla this afternoon. I just finished one arm of the ReZEL, which and there is not going to be enough time for me to finish the second arm this afternoon before I'm going to have to go. So I've got a little bit of extra time, and I'm going to run a couple of games of Magic before we finish up for the evening, because I've got a 7:30 for some tabletop role playing with some friends from university. So yes, so the purpose of this deck is to cast 1,000 Year Storm, and then copy a whole bunch of burn spells to make my opponent dead. This deck is not good. I want to be very clear about this. This deck is going to lose a lot, but it is fun, and I've been playing with it a little bit to try and get it tuned up a little bit, get my win rate up slightly. So without further ado, discard changes. Without further ado, we're just going to run into a game and see how we do. What I've been finding is that this deck is a bit slow. I've got it to the point where getting 1,000 Year Storm out onto the battlefield is pretty straightforward, but what I've been finding is I often don't have any instants or sorceries in hand to make use of it. Yeah, Azorius and Orzhov are good. Izzet's my favourite combo. What do we got here? Shimmer. We'll keep this. It's not the worst hand. Oh, I like that idea, Shitty. I really do. Oh, a second 1,000 Year Storm. That's the last thing I wanted. Right, let's play an island and move onwards. So the objective of this is to draw cards. This is MOAR. This is historic, which is the kind of modern for Magic arena. Yeah, standard and modern are still things. Let's get this. Let's play this. What do we got here? So I've got another land to play. Let's have Gutter Snipe. What was I saying? Yes, so modern goes back, is standard sets going back some time now. 9th edition, something like that, 8th edition. Historic is basically all the sets that have ever been legal on Arena, which is the newer game client. So what does your Tonebound Lich do? Death Touch, Lifelink. Draw a card, discard a card. Okay, I think I want Gutter Snipe. This deals 2 damage to an opponent whenever I cast an instant or a sorcery, so it synergizes quite well with this deck. Very soon, with the next set coming out in a couple of weeks, there are actually going to be Storm cards in Historic. Oh, you bastard. Yeah, okay, well that makes sense. blue-black decks kill things. It's what they do. Don't be ooh, mill 4. Let's come back. Don't be too looking forward to the combo going off. I'm not sure it's going off this game. I am going to have that land, and then we are going to play that. I'm going to play it tapped. Just a 0 for oof. What have we got here? Mill 4. It's the mill deck. It is the mill deck. Can't search their library, that's fine. This deck doesn't have any search library effects. More land. What have we got going on here? Let's Pirates Pillage. Discard a 1000-Year Storm. Draw 2 cards. So treasure tokens can be sacrificed for 1 mana of any colour. And you know what? That's fine. We will just end the turn there. So next turn we can play out 1000-Year Storm, and then we'll have to see if we can actually make use of it or not. That's fine, you can draw 2 cards. I'm not going to stop you. Yep, you can do that as well. Yeah, I've watched people play Yu-Gi-Oh, but I've never sort of watched enough to get a sense of what the rules are. Yep, that's fine. You can exile my graveyard. I do not use the graveyard in this deck. Yep, go to attackers. He's going to hit me, which is then going to let him loot. Yes, I've watched a brief primer on Rune Terror. It looks kind of interesting. Right, my turn. Hey, more land. That's what we like to see. So let's get. What are we at? 17. Let's do this. Let's get a 1000-Year Storm out there, and let's hold off on casting anything else. Unless they do something seriously dramatic, they're not killing me next turn. Oof. Okay. Whenever you draw a card. 8. Needs 8 foreshadow counters. Okay. Okay, so there's 2 of the cards he needs to draw. Resolve all of those. Can you get 8 counters in 1 turn? Go on, can you? Okay, Death Touch Lifelink. Hearthstone's supposed to be really good. Yep, mill me 4, that's fine. Go to attackers. What are you doing here? The fact that are you just sending a message with that, Merfolk? Is that just sending a message? Yep, okay, so that's 3 counters on this now. I've not played Hearthstone myself, but I understand it is very good. Sulphur Falls. Okay, so we are going to hopefully kill him this turn. Let's see if we can do it. First thing to do is let's start with Bone Crusher Giant, or rather let's start with Stomp. Deal 2 damage. So we've still got 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Then we're going to do Pirate's Prize. That's going to get copied twice. Then let's... How much mana have we got? So if we do Pirate's Prize again, we get 3 mana. Yep, so we're going to Pirate's Prize again. That gets us 3 copies, so that's 6 cards. We still have 4 mana here, which means we can... Where is it? Yes, Pirate's Pillage. Auto pay with that. We are going to discard a land. That's going to draw us 8 cards and create us 8 treasure tokens, which means we've got 8 mana to spend. And now we start... now we start with the burn. And this is going to get copied a bunch of times. And then we do the same again with Skewer the Critics, and this should kill him. I did not think we were winning this match at the start of it. But... well, that did the job. Right, let's go again. It's interesting, Waro. I mean, obviously, Magic, for example, is keeps adding mechanics, which keeps the game interesting. Some people might say that the game is not as good as it used to be. A lot of people really enjoy it. I enjoy it still. It's still a fun game. What do we got? Island, Mountain, 2 Shimmers. This is risky, but we're going to keep it anyway because there's a lot of card draw there. Yeah, I mean they keep adding mechanics to this game as well, and it still stays fun, you know. I will at some point play some modern, get some even older sets in, but I have to do that. We have to go to the older and slightly less stable client of Magic the Gathering Online as opposed to Magic Arena. We've got... yeah, you know what? We'll keep that opt. Why not? Opt into opt. So I will go and play Is It Storm on stream at some point. But Arena is just a better is possibly not the right word. It is a more modern and cleaner and more interesting looking game client. Let's have a little pie splat on the battlefield there. Why not? Okay, so let's get some more land out. What are we doing here? Let's get another creature on the field, and then next turn we can start causing some damage. Ah, no. The basic sort of rules Magic hasn't sort of fucked with for a long time. So we are going to opt. That can go on the bottom because we already have one. And we're going to get a second one anyway. Great. Shimmer of Possibility. Let's have... I want this island. All attack. Something is not going terribly well for my opponent here. They have 4 mana and nothing on the table. Yeah, adding new rules is not good. I am unsure as to what's going on here. My opponent has 3 different colours of mana and a whole pile of cards in hand, and appears to be doing nothing, and that isn't normally a good sign. So my creature setup are largely there just to deal extra incidental damage if I can't go off with the combo. Both Gutter Snipe and Electrostatic Field deal damage. We are the life gain deck. All these creatures deal damage whenever I cast an instant or sorcery. So, what are we at? I think we are pillaging to get us some extra mana. Actually, we're just killing him, apparently. Yay! Felt like my opponent was really struggling there. Oof. And they all have different... Right. Because, I mean, we keep getting new creature types, broadly speaking, in Magic, you know. But they're all just new creature types, so you'll get, you know, you have humans or rats or clerics or druids, and occasionally we'll get a new creature type, but they're not mechanically any different. It's just a case of no, we'll keep that. It's just a case of if there are cards that affect that particular creature type. So where are we? Island, opt. Yes, we'll have that. But if those are all sort of mechanically different, that must be an awful lot to keep track of. Let's get Electrostatic Field on. Start doing some damage. So this is either the counters deck or okay, interesting. I think this might be Enchantress. This might be the life gain deck again. Let's pass the turn. What are you playing out, and do I want to kill it? Finale of Glory for 1? Okay. Fine. Yep. I don't want you getting Finale of Glory back. Or anything else really. Right, do I want to... you know what, we'll have that. Let's build up something. Yep, let's have a land. And... yep, let's keep our land drops going here. Yeah, I'm not... I do enjoy limited games. It's not my cup of tea. Yeah, here we go. It's not 100% my cup of tea, but it is good when a game supports it. You know, a game supporting limited is important, I think. I mean, obviously there are formats in Magic where nothing's rotated out. You know, if you can afford it, you can always go and play Vintage, or Canadian Highlander, or Commander even. I mean, there's not actually much banned in Commander. You can make some really scary decks in Commander. Right, so land, 1000-Year Storm, and then next turn let's see what we can do to him. Oof. Okay, I'm blocking one of these. That's less good. Well, I guess we need to try and win this. Which way round do we do this? If we do that, then we don't have... This is possibly not the correct way around to do this. In fact, it's not the correct way to do it at all, because I miscounted my mana and I do not have enough. Okay, let's get some more blockers on the field. Oops. Yeah, thankfully with Magic, I'm now at the point where I just buy the cards I want or need, rather than actually opening stuff. Oh no, I'm screwed. I am now screwed. Yeah. I'm blocking two of these. Come on. Oof. Because I can no longer kill them this turn. Let's see if we can get anything useful out of this. Cannot afford to... No. We are just dead. Because I cannot do anything about that angel. Come on. But we'll let them have the satisfaction of killing me rather than conceding. Right, let's give this another go. Right, I'm afraid there's only going to be a couple of games left in this, because I need to get some food made and eat before this is okay. I need to get some food and eat before my game this evening. Okay, Mountain. I do not want your Soul Warden on the field. Go away. This is the life gain deck again. What do you do? Okay. Right. Let's get that. And let us stomp upon that. Yeah, Runeterra looks interesting. It's definitely on the list of let's get this out. It's definitely on the list to have a proper look at. As I say, I watched a stream of somebody actually doing the tutorials and things, and it looks interesting. Oh, well, that was unexpected. Yeah, I'm not sure why they conceded there. They were not in a poor position. But, okay. I mean, I'll take the win, I guess, but I'd have preferred to play that out. Right, what have we got going on? Both colours of land, 2 opts. Yeah, you know what, we'll keep that. With 2 opts in hand, that is not awful. We should be able to keep on top of things. Shock? Yeah, we'll have shock. Hey, Sulphur Falls, excellent. And let's get that on the board. I think Runeterra is on PC and mobile. I'm not 100% certain on that. It's definitely on PC because I've seen it streamed. I guess we're just going to try and hurt this guy. Do I want pillage? Yeah, let's keep that. Ooh, yeah, we'll have that. And we will end turn and see what he plays out. Huh, okay, well, we will shock you on your end step, in which case play an island. We can discard one of these 1000-year storms. Do you have a counterspell? You have 3 mana and you're in blue. Apparently not. Next. End turn. Okay. This is... I want to say this is not going terribly well for my opponent, but I'm not entirely certain that it is going badly for him. He's got 4 mana and a handful of cards. That isn't good. So, I've got 6 mana. I can shimmer. Are you counterspelling me? I will have Skewer the Critics, thanks. Are you counterspelling me now? Okay. Let's pay 2 life to get that to come in untapped. You have a lot of mana and a lot of cards. Why are you not doing anything? White is... all of the colours are specific. Anything that's a number is generic mana, and there is now also colourless mana. Is a thing since a few years ago. Which again is specific. If you've been... oh. Oh, interesting. Until the end of turn. Okay. Flash and flying when it enters the battlefield until the end of turn. Damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. Ooh. Don't think it's going to save him. Because I'm going to play out Gutter Snipe. Victory. That was a nice counterplay by them. I like that. They timed that really well. That got them an extra turn. A Porky Parrot, you say? Tap to deal X damage to any target. Huh, interesting. Right, this is probably going to have to be the last game. Yeah, I made some changes to this morning, and the changes have really helped its consistency. Mountains, Gutter Snipe, Pirate Pillage. I'm on the draw. Keep. Yeah, I reduced the number of lands in the deck, took out some enchantments and added in some more card draw, and it's made frankly a massive difference. So what are we doing here? Oh, I think I may be fucked. What does Elvish Warmaster do? Remind me. Oh, this is the Elves deck. I am weak versus this deck. Let's opt. Yeah, you know what? Let's get it in hand. Oh, look. Elves that do elves that make me sad. Mountain. What do you do? Token for every elf that comes in. Create an elf whenever another elf comes in. This is all the elves. What are we doing here? Got to have gutter snipe, I think. No blocks. Well, let's see if we can get ourselves a land. That is not terribly helpful. Okay. Well, we're just gonna do as much damage as we can to you as quickly as we can. No attacks. Oh, what do you do? Destroy target non-land permanent. Joy. Yeah, there we go. No, you know what? They murdered me so very quickly, we have time for another game. Island and Sulphur Falls. A lot of burn and an opt. Risky, but we're going to do it. I like my little Thopter. He brings me pie. Mountain. What do you do? Yeah. You go away is what you do. Yeah, I'm told Heroes of the Storm was okay. What were your sort of good bad parts with this? I've never played League. Oof. Yep, done. I'll have that. Cannot kill you this turn. You can get hexproof without any problems anyway. Go to attacks. You're going to hit me. Go to damage. You're going to do anything with your 3 mana. No, apparently not. Okay, let's have an island. Let's look for a card. Let's have that. Yeah, the setting for League is really good, and Heroes looked interesting, but yeah, if there's not enough people playing it and no support for it, then yeah. Ooh, no. Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste, can't be blocked. Yuck. Right, yes, off you go. You're going to hit me for 7. Okay. Do not want. I don't think this is saving me, but it's at least buying me some time. Fucked. I am fucked. Go on, let's see. Is there anything here that can save my arse? I can block. 10 for 5. Huh. Oh, really? What else do you do? Right. Block here. No. Nope. Come on. Let's get one final pie before I am completely obliterated by these enormous dinosaurs. Minus 15. Right, I'm afraid that really is where I'm going to have to call it for this evening. Thank you all for the company. It has been an excellent afternoon. I will be back multiple times this week at varying different times. I will be back tomorrow evening for scheduled stream, continuing the unicorn build. I will probably be back on Wednesday to do more of this or more of the ReZEL or something. We'll see what happens. But yes, I will be back tomorrow evening. Thank you all for joining me. If you've enjoyed yourselves, I will be very grateful for a follow. If you have, I don't know how many of the people here are still in stream, but Shittypopu streams. Go and have a look at his channel, give him a follow. Mini Mojo has been around. They stream also, give them a follow. Who else have we had on stream? Terabyte Gaming UK streams. Go and have a look at their channel. Give them a follow. Wero, do you stream? I cannot remember if you stream or not. You don't. Okay. In which case, Wero is just a fun human. Which is no bad thing to be. Right. Thank you all for the company. I will see you in the future with more of this and more Gunpla and more other things also. Have a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe we'll see.